Kia ora Year 9. In this video I'm going to do some of the relational questions that link skills together. Okay, so let's start with some that are going over powers and BEDMAS and integers. I'm going to go a little bit faster than I did in the unistructural video. So if you're finding the pace a bit fast, just make sure you go and fill in any basic gaps you've got using either the textbook or Education Perfect or our worksheets. Okay, so the first one is a straightforward question about powers, as long as we remember what 2 to the power of 4 is. So 2 to the power of 4 is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, right? And 3 squared is 3 times 3. So that gives me 16 times 9. Now, I should have said at the start, for these questions, you need to make sure you're showing you're working. So here we've got equals 16 times 9, and that gives me what? 16 nines, 160, take away 16, 144. Right, and the next one, I'm going to do that down below so I have more room. I've got 13 plus 4 plus 14 minus 5 times 3. Now, in the actual test, we give you a booklet to write in, so you'll have much more space than you're used to, so it won't be too bad, so don't worry about that. Here I'm going to do the brackets first, and I'm not going to do any running arithmetic. So I'm going to have 17 plus 9 times 3. So I'm putting that line in first, and then I'll work out, well, what's 9 times 3? It's 27. That gives me 44. Okay, on to number 30, which has got some integers. So negative 2, bracket, 7 minus negative 5, minus 13. Well, the bit inside the brackets is 7 plus 5, which is 12. Negative 2 times 12, minus 13. So just remember in here that if there's nothing in here, that means there's an invisible times sign. That gives me negative 24 minus 13, which is negative 27. Oops, no, it's not. It's negative 37. There we are. The next one is another BEDMAS example. 7 plus 8 times 6 plus 12 times 8 minus 5 squared. Right, so let's go slowly with this. And that means I'm going to leave a bunch of stuff just as it is. We've got 7 plus 8 sixes plus 12 times, right, now we get to the bit we can do. With BEDMAS I do brackets first, so 8 take away 5 is 3, and then 3 squared is 9. Now I go back and I look at the multiplications I've got in here. I've got a multiplication here and a multiplication here. So I've got 7 plus 48 plus 108, which gives me 163. Right, let's see what we've got left. Well, we've just got one left here, question 32. I'm going to do that here, just get myself some room. Negative 5 cubed is very easy to go wrong with. I have to remember that it means negative 5 times negative 5 times negative 5 minus 17. So here we've got a negative times a negative. That gives me a positive. But I'm timesing it by a negative again, so I go back to a negative. I end up with negative 125 minus 17, which is negative 142. Right, now these next few questions are starting to move into some slightly harder fraction problems and more negative number stuff. So number 33, negative 3 squared minus negative 2 cubed gives me negative 3 times negative 3 minus negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2. So I'm working out what's in the brackets first, right, and I'm doing my exponent. So here we get 9 minus, again I've got a negative times a negative, which is positive, times a negative. So that gives me minus negative 8. That's the same as 9 plus 8, which is equal to 17. Now we've got a couple of questions with fractions. They've both got mixed numbers in them. When I'm adding, I can think of the mixed number as in 2 bits. Right, 2 and 2/3 is 2 plus 2/3. So that makes it pretty fast to do fraction addition. But when I'm working with multiplication, I can't do that. I have to make both of those improper. Right, so what have we got here? Well, we've got 2/7 plus 2 and 2/3. Well, I can do it the slow way, which is to go 2 sevenths plus 8 thirds. And that's not too bad here. I can get a common denominator. 7 watts are 2173, so it's going to be 6. And then 8 watts are 21, 8 times 7. 8 sevens are 56. So I'm looking at how did I get from there to there. That gives me 62 over 21, which is 2 and 20 over 21. So that's fine. But let's look at the other way I could have done it. 2 sevenths plus 2 and 2 thirds is equal to 2 sevenths plus 2 thirds plus 2. These numbers are much easier to work with. I get 6 here plus, let's see, 2 sevenths, 14 here, plus 2, which takes me directly to 2 and 20 over 21. So it's over to you. Sometimes I don't bother splitting it up, but usually I will. Then we've got the next one, which is multiplication. So in this case, we're going to come badly unstuck if we forget to split it up. So 2 and 4/5 times 3 and 1/7 gives me 14 over 5 times 22 over 7. Right, now I'm going to clean this up within the fractions. So here I've got 14 over 7, which is 2 over 1. That gives me 44 over 5. And I'm going to write that as an improper, as a mixed number, 8 whole numbers with 4 leftovers. So what am I doing there? 40 is equal to 40, sorry, 44 is equal to 40 plus 4. I think that's all the questions from that slide. Let's see. Yep, but I'm going to squeeze in some more. And we've got 4 more to do. So these first two are highest common factor in LCM. We spent what felt like quite a bit of time on that in class. So I'm going to show you 2 ways to do those. And this one here is similar in that it's going to use a factor tree as well. This last question is kind of just out of nowhere, but it's just to see if you know what an average is and how we can find one. So first let's do the HCF of 72 and 96. Well, I could do it by listing out the factors of one of those things and then checking the other one. So factors of 72 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 9. There's a lot of them. 12, 18. Man, so many factors of 72. Right, there we go. So that's factors of 72. So which ones are also factors of 96? Well, we'll start from the top end. 72 is not. 36 is also not. But 24 is, right? Because 24 times 4 will give me 96. So in that case, it wasn't too bad. But I'm going to remind you how we do highest common factor of harder ones. And we can do it using our beautiful factor trees. So 72 is equal to 8 9s. We're going to do our prime factor thing. So we keep on going until we get to prime numbers. Circle tick, circle tick, circle tick. And with 9, 9 is equal to 3 times 3. Circle tick, circle tick. Then we do the same thing very quickly for 96. Doesn't matter where you start. I'm going to start with 12 eighths. So we've got 3 and then 4, 2, circle tick, circle tick, circle tick. If you don't know what I'm doing, then probably time to go hop on Education Perfect or watch the video on HCF. Now I've been a bit sneaky there. I've just gone straight to the prime factors. Right, remember that if I'm looking at those numbers, I can find the highest common factor by doing this funky Venn diagram thing. And I put the numbers in the middle that are in common to both. So let's highlight them, because I like to highlight it on my videos so much. So we've got 2 here, and I've got a 2 over here. I've got another 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, and 2 here. And then I've got a 3 here and a 3 here. So what have I got in here? Well, I've got 2, 2, 2, and 3. And that's going to be the HCF. 2 to the power of 3 times 3. That gives me 24. Now, I think you'll probably agree that that's kind of unnecessary for a problem with 72 and 96, but it is a great method for harder ones. Now, let's see the next one. Find the lowest common multiple of 32 and 48. So this is another one where we don't need to do the Venn diagram thing. Let's just list the multiples of 32. Well, we get 32, 64, 96. Let's keep going a bit. If we're having a slow day and we don't spot it, what's next? 128, dot, dot, dot. 48. 48, and then the next multiple is 96. So right there, we've found the lowest common multiple. But we could have done it using a factor Venn diagram. And if we did that, it would look like this. I'm going to go straight to the answer here, which I don't usually do, but I am this time. So if this is 72 and 96, I think that's what I'm doing. Hang on, let's see. Am I doing 7? No, I meant to be doing 32 and 48. Wrong numbers. 32 and 48. So here I've got 2, 2, 2, and 2, 2 to the power of 4. Here I've got 3, and here I've got 2. So if we multiply those together, we get 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. And then I've got times 3. So I just times all those together, and I get 32 times 3, which gives me 96, which is what I got much more quickly doing it the kind of old-fashioned way, right, where I just list out the multiples here, and I list out the multiples here. Right, 2 more questions and then we'll be done. Okay, so 450 as the product of prime factors is where I get to do my favourite thing, which is factor trees. Well, not quite my favourite thing, but it is quite cool. So pick any 2 factors. I've picked 9 and 50. And then we just keep going until we get the prime number factors. Right, so I get 3 and 3. Circle, tick, circle, tick. And then here I get 5 and I get 10. So 5's a prime. What are the prime factors of 10? Well, 2 times 5. Tick, tick, tick. Now we're done. We can write 450 in a nice neat order is 2 times 5 squared times, oops, not quite in a nice neat order. Slightly out of order, but there you go. Right, one more to do, this weird one about the average. Now we haven't actually done this in class, but I think most of you who are watching this understand what an average is. Michael averaged 63% in his 5 mid-year exams. So that means his total must have been 63 times 5, which was 315 marks. Okay, that's what an average is. And he scored these things, physics, history, English, and classics. He must have been a year 13. He scored those scores. So what was his mark in the 5th subject? Oh, I don't know what happened there. How do I get rid of that? Oh, okay, we'll work over here. Total, sorry, maths teacher doesn't know how to work your laptop. Let's get rid of this. Right, we don't want sticky notes, we just want the numbers. Sorry guys, just be patient with me. So total of first 4, and then we're going to underline it and put a little colon. We're going to have 45 plus 69 plus 73 plus 81. Right, now what does that give me? Well, that adds up to, I think, 268 marks. Let's get rid of all of this mess around here so that we have a clean screen to work on. So what do we know about science? Well, it must have been enough to give me the average of 63. So science must have been 315 minus 268. So that gives me 47 marks, or 47%. Notice that I've set out some words in here, right? So we're starting to get to harder problems. You've got to show you're working. So it's important that we state what is each thing that I'm figuring out. All right, that's enough for now. Thanks very much for watching. More later on.